Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be a bit different. In this video, I'm going to be discussing MW3 and why I'm not going to be buying it. In this video, we're going to be talking about multiplayer zombies and my pros and cons about each one. And this is also going to tie in with what I've played, with the beta being a multiplayer beta. And this is going to be personal preference about what I like and dislike about multiplayers and zombies. We're not going to be talking about campaign in this video because I don't really see it being that important compared to the multiplayer and zombies, since those are the main game modes people buy Call of Duty for. And I'm not going to have much to say about zombies since we've only seen gameplay rather than being able to play it ourselves, so I'm not going to be able to form an actual opinion of zombies, just the multiplayer for now. With that being said, let's jump right into it. MW3 multiplayer. Where do I start? We're going to start with pros. The first biggest thing you can say about MW3 is the movement. If you compare MW3 movement and MW2 movement, MW3 movement is pretty much essentially like MW29's movement, except you can also dolphin dive in this game. Everything is very quick and fast paced in this game, and I like that. I like the action paced movement in these type of games. That's why I always love Treyarch games, because they're just arcadey, which are very fast. I don't like the old boring, sentinel camping shit where you're just sitting in one spot 90% of the game and you're moving here and there, but for the most part you're just sitting in one spot. People will need to get off their asses and start moving around the map, which this game definitely does have. The second thing I would say about this game is that the menus are, for now at least, are very clean and smooth. Now, I know that's just the game in general, not really multiplayer, but since we've been able to see what the multiplayer menu looks like and what all the tabs are and whatnot, for right now, it's pretty basic, which means it's pretty smooth. Now, I don't think that's an achievement because I don't think anything can have any worse of a dog shit menu that MW2 had. That was literally a Hulu menu. But I do have to say that for now, the menu screen and the title screen are pretty nice. Keep it that way, please. Third thing I would say is that the sound effects and the pop-ups of this game are very clean. This is giving me good old 2009 vibes, with whether it be killing someone and getting XP, getting a headshot multiplier, unlocking guns, unlocking levels. Everything is just very clean sounding. It has that very nice sound effect that makes you feel like you achieved something, that it has that impact where it's like, oh yeah, I got a next level. Damn, that's awesome. I want to go for another level. It's very nice and it's not over exaggerated, and I very do much like that. When you get a kill in this game, it makes you want to get another kill and then another kill because you're on that streak, and with these pop-ups, coming up with, just being satisfying, it keeps the adrenaline going. I really don't have much to say about the pop-ups and sound effects other than they're very nice right now. Ever since Modern Warfare 2 last year, they've been bringing back both dolphin dive and slide canceling. We've had slide canceling for several years now, ever since either Advanced Warfare or Black Ops 3. I believe it was Black Ops 3, but I don't know. I didn't play much Advanced Warfare. Besides the point, dolphin diving in this game is great. You can dolphin dive from such tall heights and not have to worry about dying. Yes, you do take damage when you dolphin dive off of tall heights, but it feels very minimal. You don't have a red screen of death or anything when you dolphin dive from a tall height, and it feels like essentially nothing happened. You genuinely feel like Superman, and I feel you're gonna be able to do such cool trick shots with this. Now, I don't believe you can actually shoot while you're dolphin diving, but just being able to do cool tricks with dolphin diving and then get a sick kill with it, it just makes the gameplay feel very smooth, and I think the dolphin diving in this game is great. It genuinely makes you feel like Superman. And finally, my last positive note for the multiplayer is the fact that at launch, at least that this is what they've said, 16 maps are going to be at launch. We're going to get 16 multiplayer maps for launch. Now, we have had previous games like Vanguard that had a bit more, around 20 maps at launch, but 16 maps, I believe, is a good number to have. It's a good enough number to have a variety of different types of maps without overwhelming the player. Unlike with a game like Cold War, where Cold War, even though I believe it's a great game, only had 8 maps at launch. And overall, from the maps that we played so far in the beta, which is about 3-4 maps, each one feels different in its own way, which is really good. If you want a pretty colorful map, go play Favela, or maybe even East State. But if you want a dark and gritty map, go play something like Skid Row. I would say there's a variety of maps, both big and small, and next weekend they'll be adding Rust, so then you'll have that to play and grind. Now, I do actually have a negative about these 16 maps. Even though it's great to have all these maps, this is going to be leading into our cons. My first con with this game is that there's no originality. So people have made the argument that this game is not an expansion or a DLC pack because it has a campaign, it has multiplayer, it has zombies, it's its own game. I would agree, except the multiplayer maps for this game are just remakes from a 2009 game. Every single one, not one original map. We've gotten to a point to where Call of Duty is just going to start remaking everything that they can before they, because they're starting to run out of ideas, and so they're just going to latch on to whatever past that they can for any nostalgic purposes. And that's what this whole game is. It's just a nostalgic, grab. But in reality, this game is not going to play the same that it did back in 2009. Different mechanics, different game engines, different games. And also, this game is titled MW3, but yet it has MW2 maps. All the maps are from MW2 and it's called MW3. That further proves the point that this game was supposed to be an MW2 expansion, but it just changed to MW3 and made it full price. Another con about the multiplayer is the doors and the mounting. They have returned from MW 2019 and Vanguard and MW2. Oh my god, please get the doors and the mounting out of here. Holy balls. Those mechanics alone just advocate for the Sentinel playstyle of just camping and sitting in one spot. I absolutely hate that playstyle. I don't like doors. I don't like mounting. Although I've played the beta and I don't think the doors are that bad, just get them out of here. They're not needed. Like, oh my god. Another issue I have with this game is the enemies. More specifically, not being able to see them. So in this game, there's really no indication whether someone's an enemy or a teammate. The only indication you have is a little dot on the top of their head. If it's red, they're an enemy. If it's blue, they're a teammate. There's no kind of outline for the enemies whatsoever. And with this game being already as dark and gray as it is, it's so hard to tell whether an enemy is an enemy. Especially from far away, I've had so many instances where I accidentally shoot a teammate, and then when I get up closer, I'm like, oh, that's a teammate. I'm an idiot. Now, this can be easily fixed if they just add something better to indicate whether someone's a teammate or an enemy, whether that's an outline or bigger dots that you can see from farther away. Just something. Please do something. And speaking of dark and gritty, this game, just like MW 2019, is dark and gray. Who likes this, man? And for some reason, they brought this into the intro. So for the first couple of seconds when the introduction is playing, the intro scene, everything is quite literally dark. There's zero color. And then as you get out of the cutscene, whether you're getting out of a car or whatever, the color starts to fade in. But why did they do that? Like, I just don't understand why not just have the color play throughout the whole scene. I don't like it. That's just a personal rep for me, is that I don't see the point of just having the entire scene gray and then it just all of a sudden be colorful. Just get rid of that. Make the intro color as well. So yeah, this reason is why I do like the Treyarch games, is because they're very arcadey and very colorful. They're very beautiful to look at. The saturation is top notch. Like, go to a game like Black Ops 3 and tell me that game doesn't look beautiful. 8 years later, and Black Ops 3 still looks like such a beauty to play. And I think the best map for that game to explain what I'm trying to say is Knockout. Just look at that map for a couple of seconds and tell me that does not look absolutely gorgeous and stunning. Now, you could say that this, whole color scheme, with it being dark and gritty, is supposed to add to the realism, with it being, actual war and people shooting each other. Like, it's not supposed to be arcadey. And I do agree to that to a certain extent, because not everything needs to be realistic. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's just a game, and I want to look at it and play it. Like, I don't want to be disgusted by it. I want to be able to be like, wow, this game looks great. It's so colorful. I want to play it. Again, that's just like a personal thing. You might like the gray and gritty if you're weird, but yeah. And also another thing to add on before we hop on over to zombies is that this game, for just being out for 1 day so far, is goddamn sweaty. This game is beyond sweaty. Like, you are going to have to invest hours into this game to be good. I will say it right now, if you are looking at buying this game and trying to get like a casual experience out of it, do not buy it. Do not buy this game if you're looking for some kind of casual experience, because people are going to be sweating their nut sacks on you. And that's another reason why I'm not going to be buying this game, is because I don't have hours at a time of every day to invest into a game like this, because I actually have a life to attend to. So yeah, just throwing that out there. But with that being said, let's move on over to zombies. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't really have much to say about zombies since I haven't played it myself. We've only seen gameplay from YouTubers and streamers and whatnot. But based on the gameplay we've seen and from what we've heard, I can make an, I'd say, realistic assumption of what we're going to be playing. So let's start with the pros. Outbreak. For me, this isn't a pro, but for a lot of people, I know that there's people out there who liked Outbreak from Cold War. It's one of their favorite game modes. And obviously, the numbers prove, if Treyarch and Activision are telling the truth, that Outbreak did phenomenal with Cold War. So many people jumped on that that game mode and started playing the game because Outbreak was such a success. And so I would say if you enjoyed a game mode like Outbreak, I don't see why you wouldn't enjoy a game mode like this for MW3 Zombies. Basically, the gist of it is that MW3 Zombies is going to be on the Warzone map, and it's going to be essentially like Outbreak, where you have an hour to play and you can roam around the map, shoot enemy AIs or zombies, and extract when you're done. And with this, you're going to have 8 squads of 3 players. You can have up to 24 players in this mode. And overall, I think that's a really cool thing, having up to 24 players, because back in the day, we always thought having just 8 players with like the transit glitch back on BO2 was such a cool thing. And so now they're allowing up to 24 players? Like, that sounds dope. But yeah, that's it for the pros. Now for the cons. First con, as I mentioned, there's a time limit. There's a 1 hour time limit for this game mode. And so you only have an hour from the moment you start in the match to play before you have to end the match. There is no, we can play like for 4 or 5 hours. No, there's no, you play for 1 hour, you leave, and then you have to start a new match if you want to play again. I think this is an absolute terrible idea. I think just timers in general for these type of games and game modes are horrible. If you want to make it an option, that's fine, cool, but don't make it like an actual attachment to the game mode. Next is going to be a personal opinion. Same with Outbreak. There's not going to be any round-based map for this game as of right now. So just like Vanguard, this game only has an Outbreak-like game mode. There is no round-based. There's no map where you can hop in single player or with friends and go from round 1 to round 80. There's nothing like that. You hop in, play for an hour, and then you have to leave. Overall, we're starting to move into this kind of vibe where we're starting to discard and, you know, just disrespect round-based mode and start opening up to these different ideas, which I'm fine with. You know, try something new, but at least have round-based. Have some form of round-based, because there is that player base out there who play round-based and round-based only, and that's what we started off with. That's what World at War all throughout these years have been. It's just been round-based modes. Another con is going to be no single player. This game has been specified to not be for casual players or people who want to play single player. This mode has been specified for people who want to play in groups. This is not a mode for single player. You are going to be forced to have 23 other players in your game. If you like it, awesome. If you don't, well, sucks to suck, I guess. No main Easter egg. There's not going to be any main Easter egg for this game for the time being. They have said and hinted that there's going to be little Easter eggs around the Warzone map, but I don't count that as an Easter egg. With no main Easter egg on the map, I feel like this game mode's going to die very quickly and get boring and stale. I mean, hell, look at Vanguard with what happened with that. Since there was no main Easter egg, there was no content to make on the game. Very, very bad choice. As I've been talking about this game mode, I've been saying how the map's going to take place on the Warzone map. That is correct. The Warzone map and just the Warzone map. There is no original map for this game mode, whether it be a round-based or an Outbreak mode. There's no original map. It's just the Warzone map. So quite literally, they just took what they already had, which was Warzone, and they just threw it on zombies and called it a day. That's literally what this is. It just feels very stale, feels very just not creative at all, very boring. Get it out of here. And when they were promoting this, they said that this game has the largest zombies to date, which technically isn't wrong, but that's how they get you with the keywords, because although technically it's the largest zombies to date, it's just the Warzone map, man. There's nothing exciting about that. And another thing is that a lot of, from what we've seen from the gameplay in the trailer, is that there's a lot of assets taken from Black Ops Cold War, such as the Manglers, the Mimics, the three-headed bitch, whatever his name is. There seems to be a lot of assets taken from Cold War, which I don't necessarily mind. If you already have something great that works, take it and make it better, improve it. You know, don't change the formula. So I don't necessarily disagree with that factor. It's just the fact that it feels like a recycled game, essentially. It doesn't feel like anything was improved. It feels like they literally just took one thing and just ported it over with no changes for the most part. Like, if I wanted to play Cold War, I would just go play Cold War. Overall, this game mode just feels like a game mode you would play once or twice, maybe 3 times, or here and there, and that's about it. I would not say there's really any replayability factor to this game mode, and it's just a game mode to be a game mode, like Spec Ops, for example. It's just a game mode to be there, just to give you a third game mode. I don't think this game mode's going to be great. I could be wrong, but also this is just not for me, and that's okay. And with that, that's going to be Zombies. The best way I would describe MW3 is that the standards are very low. So low that they might not even be existent at this point. The whole selling point of this game, the whole marketing choice of this game, is that it's just not MW2. It's literally not MW2. That's the whole selling point. If your whole selling point of a game is that it's not anything like your previous game, that is sad. Like, that's actually embarrassing. There's something going wrong here. But the thing is, since these games are starting to use the same engine now, it literally is the same game, just with a few changes added to it. and then, you know, another $70, which quite literally, it's just an expansion pack charged for $70. The HUDs for both of these games are pretty much identical. Like, there's, for the most part, not really any differences. So to end this video off, just some key points that I have about the game as a whole for the time being as I'm making this video. One, there is no color or saturation of this game, aka it is just very dark and gritty, very gray. This is just something to do with the Modern Warfare games with Infinity Wars style. I don't know why they did it with MW 2019 and now MW2 and MW 2023. Of course, there are colorful maps here and there, but for the most part, a lot of it is just dark and gray. I don't like it. Get it out of here. There's no originality. This game is literally just MW2, but just priced at $70 and changed to MW3. And all the maps and content that you're getting is just recycled content. That is all there is to it. And once again, this is just a $70 priced expansion pack for a game that we previously had. Now, campaign might be good, but campaigns are usually about only like a few hours, like 5 to 6 hours long, not $70 worth. So, overall, I'm not going to be buying MW3, especially when a game like XDefiant is going to be coming out here pretty soon. I will definitely be playing XDefiant, and I'll be making videos on XDefiant and hopefully having lots of fun on it. Now, one thing I will say is that if you didn't buy MW2, then I can definitely see why MW3 might be an incentive for you. But if you're someone like me who did spend $70 on MW2 already, this just looks like the same game that does not motivate me to spend another $70. It just doesn't. So, overall, MW3 is a cash grab, and I would not recommend buying it if you already bought MW2. I would definitely recommend just waiting for what Treyarch has to cook in 2024. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like and comment, and also subscribe to see more of this content. And I'll see you guys in the next video.